What up? What's good, my beautiful people? I have been away from my desk, my computer now for a couple days. I needed a little bit of a social media / YouTube fast, if you will. So I apologize if anybody feels like, I disappeared for a few minutes. I'm here. I'm good. But, we all need a little bit of, get a disconnect every now and then. So I disconnected for a couple days. I am taking some time tomorrow and Wednesday to go on a spiritual retreat. I'm going to go out into nature and reset myself in this incredibly intense energies. I appreciate you guys. I've had actually quite a few people, surprisingly, a lot of people hit me up and, ask me if I'm all right. And I'm good. We're all good. It's really good to see you guys too. Thank you so much for tuning in. This Pluto retrograde is sort of a staple energy in this next 6 months that we're going to be experiencing. And I'm gonna go a lot into that this week, or right now for this week's energy. But hey, what's up, Julie? Thank you, sweetheart. We all have our the aspect or part of our lives, that we struggle with a little bit. Yeah, 6 months. That's right. And that part for me is I tend to overwhelm myself with responsibility. I have all these projects. I want to help people out there, and I want to, I want to make shit happen, right? So I need to learn how to take a step back and just really clear myself, because I can get caught up in these rabbit holes. We all do it, in some way, shape, or form. And this Pluto retrograde, I feel, is really going to hold me accountable to that. Bring it on. I'll do some astral traveling, and I'll bring you guys with me. But still, I'm always, my heart is always there with all you guys, and I'm so grateful for everyone building this community and, just coming together. And with so much change going on, we need to really stick together and be around people, situations, experiences that we can trust and feel vulnerable around and, grow with. So with that being said, let's get into the energies of this week. So we are now officially in Pluto retrograde time. And what's really significant about this is this is the deepest layer, the deepest energy in our consciousness that is now. The way that I see it is, if you think back to the movie Ghostbusters, all right, like the original Ghostbusters, and, they were going around, sucking all these like ghosts and stuff up into this little box, right, which is kind of like Pandora's box, if you will. And that box is Pluto, okay? Now, when the people that were in charge, they found out the universe, right? And they're like, oh, hell no, we're not going to have this. So you guys need to take all this stuff and let it out, because this is against code, universal code, whatever. So like, okay, we had all, they had all this protection around all this deep, dark, nasty shit, right? So now all this protection, it's like it opened it up, which is a good thing. And that's what happened during the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, right? We had this energy just all blast and be shaken out of this box, this Pandora's box. And now it's all coming out. And it's just like when they released that in the movie Ghostbusters, and all these spirits and demons and all this crazy shit just started floating around everywhere. And now they're like, oh, fuck. Now what are we going to do? So now all this shit is out, not just in the world, but in here, in ourselves, because as within, so without, right? Whatever's going on out in the world is a projection, a mirror for what's going on in here. And that has to do at every single level. The microcosm, the macrocosm, it's all interconnected, right? So now that it's all out, now all this energy came out, now that it's at the surface, now we're seeing it. Now the next 6 months while Pluto is in retrograde is taking all these energies that are out and going into them one at a time, all right? And dealing with them and looking at them deeply. So that, and of course, this is, there's a lot of distraction, a lot of distracting energy out there in the world with with all these crazy energies that are coming out. We can get caught up in all the mainstream stuff. We can even get caught up in like the conspiracy theory stuff. We can get caught up debates and opinions and arguments with people that have different ideas and opinions, blah, and they can go down so many rabbit holes. Okay, it's important right now to come back to the center and come back to self. And what's up, Nicole? And now it's like it's sort of like in a way we feel like we don't have a choice. It's pulling us so hard and so deep in these different directions. It is pulling us. We're expanding at such a masterful degree, such a fast and intense rate that it is overwhelming. The ascension symptoms, the headaches, shivers and shakes, like feeling like uncomfortable or like you're not at home in your body or in your skin, having like nightmares. Nightmares are really the way that the subconscious mind purges out these dark. There's so many things that are going on that we're having to really take a deep look at, and especially with Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto all going retrograde, all within 6 degrees of each other. That's about as far away as they're getting. So even though they're not exactly conjunct, they're still all talking, okay? Especially Jupiter and Pluto. So Jupiter is going to be a massive influence here for the rest of the year, because it's going to come to a culmination point when it conjuncts Saturn at 0 degrees of Aquarius in December of this year, which is going to be the real breaking into the new chapter. Right now, we're still learning. We're still figuring things out. There's still bickering back and forth. And, there's agendas that are being seen and understood and called out. Like the whistleblower thing is massive right now. And that's going to take a whole new meaning, a whole deeper meaning in December. It's especially going to it's going to depend on the presidential election here in November. But just be prepared for a really intense summer. Jupiter represents good question, Ben. Jupiter represents expansion. It's the most benefic planet, right? So it's good, but when it comes around whatever sign it's in, it enhances the archetype of that sign, and whatever planets is around, it enhances the energies of that planet. So being so close to Pluto represents bringing like a microscope, bringing up the deep unknown shit, right? Pluto is all about like the pedophilia stuff is with all this deep state stuff. All that kind of stuff is Plutonian energy. It's very deep. It's like the underworld, the fetishy, sexual kind of weird shit that nobody wants to really acknowledge or even admit, the stuff that we're like embarrassed about in our own lives. That's that Plutonian energy. So, but it also represents power. Okay, now Pluto power is sort of like a Braveheart kind of energy, right? Like through the suffering, through the struggle, or like Gladiator, through all that deep, dark, like how the fuck do you even survive through all that shit? But then you come out of it and you change the world. But you had to change it through that very difficult and intense triggering transformational mechanism. And Jupiter is just shining a light and saying, hey, look at all this shit. And, the powers that be, or the people, like even us in our own world, like, this is karma at its finest and deepest point. If we've been doing the right thing and we've been helping people, like if we've been rising above and being the better person, that karma is coming back around. That's that Pluto Jupiter aspect. So if you're seeing a lot of really good things coming in your life right now, then you know that you've been doing the right thing. Now, if you're seeing a lot of really bad shit happening, that means that you have to clear a lot of karma that you haven't dealt with yet. It's unresolved, unfinished karma. And this is going to be going all summer. So I highly encourage you guys, because look, okay, so let's go into what karma is for a minute, because that's a really important topic. Karma is not good or bad. Good or bad is like a moral and ethical judgment based on our conscious perception. All right, what's up, Billy? Karma is basically whatever you put out, the law of attraction reverberates and it brings it back to you, right? So you may not be consciously aware. Say you're in a relationship, right? And you catch your significant other cheating on you. You're like, wow, Why did this happen to me? I'm a good person. Like, I've been doing a good thing. Well, maybe you are a good person on the surface. I mean, maybe you have good intentions even, right? But if you've been lying to yourself, if you've been sacrificing yourself, like, I'm going to do this because I feel like it's the right thing, even though I'm not happy, I'm not really emotionally fully involved in this process. And, and you guys are just sort of living this life out of obligation, and you're really lying to yourself. Eventually that energy is going to get, so it's like a pressurizing system, right? And that pressure is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until it pops. Now, sometimes it happens in pieces. Usually, though, with Pluto, there's something like a tower moment. Okay, a tower moment is when everything just falls apart, like, bam, what the fuck? All right, this COVID thing is a tower moment in the entire world. So we need to really be brutally honest with ourselves. Are you happy? Okay, are you going towards what you really want in life? Are you really working as hard as you can? Are you really loving yourself the best way that you can? All these deep, like, fundamental questions in our lives, and this whole experience in this world is bringing it to another level, forcing us to look at ourselves. Like, hey, look, are you really, now that you can't distract yourself with everything that you're normally distracting yourself with, how are you feeling every day? You feel good and alive when you wake up? Or, you feel passionate, because Pluto and Jupiter is also passion. You see the passion around the world with, everybody around the world is like getting passionate about their belief systems. Capricorn is about the structure of our lives, like the structure of governments, the structure of finances, our emotional structure, right? So with those structures, we're looking at it and we're becoming very passionate about what we believe in. I love Trump. I hate Trump. I think this COVID is, we got to stay home and people are important. I think this shit is bullshit and we should all go be a revolutionary. These are all belief systems that are getting solidified. And like I've been saying before, this is right now, this next 6 months is us choosing sides, choosing teams, identifying at a deeper and deeper level, what team are we on? Meaning, what is our belief system? And those belief systems are separating. This is the division of the new earth. There's going and if you want to see more about that, go watch my video Saturn in Aquarius, because it talks about there's going to be a dystopia and a utopia, and that's all very individual based. Which one are we going to live in, right? 5D, 3D, okay? And of course, there are many levels to this, but I'm primarily speaking about within us and in our lives, because we have the ability to choose the way that we want to live our life. Of course, we don't have control of the outside circumstances that are going on, but when we accept that, that's okay. Now, Saturn, of course, is about structure. And right now, for the next about month and a half, we have, well, definitely for the next week, we have Pluto literally sitting at this exact degree and minute. So it's like Pluto is not moving. And when Pluto is not moving, that's when the power energy of Pluto is the strongest. All right. When a planet is stationary, that's when the energy just gets amplified that much more. Right. It's almost like when something like has been spinning and then it just stops and you're done and you're like, oh, okay, you need to readjust, right? And then it starts spinning the other way. And then you go into that process. So Pluto retrograde is us going within, us going inside to feel the energy and to go into detail with all those ghosts that were released, just like in Ghostbusters, and dealing with them one at a time. So now we have to go back around and we have to look at this shit now that it's right in our face. But we didn't necessarily really know it was there because it's been suppressed or repressed. These energies we've been sitting in this distraction for so long that we maybe forgot or didn't even know consciously that it was there. It's always been there. And now we have the opportunity. We can look at this as an opportunity or some really bad shit that's happening in our life, right? So this is all about our choice, our ability to choose what we believe, our ability to choose the perspective in which we approach these situations. So this summer is going to be all about, really being intentional with every thought, belief, and action that we take about because right now, all these actions that we're taking is setting the stage for the next 30 years of our lives. And the 2020s, this entire decade, this is going to be I almost think back to the Roaring 20s and 1920s, right? There's 100 years later, and a lot of hold on, citizen. I'll get to you in a second with that. I will. We're going to be having like another revolution, right? Uranus in Taurus is all about revolution. Okay, real quick, citizens, what did you feel when you took Yopo or interpret? Can you say? Right now, I'm talking about the astrology, so I can reference that on a comment in that video, okay? But I'm not talking about spiritual medicines right now. Okay, so these energies right now, Pluto is still, it's stationary, right? Jupiter is getting ready to go retrograde, and so is Saturn. So these planets are also slowing down. So it's this energy of the Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn energies all just going into deeper detail, all sort of coming into this deeper cesspool of energies that are really calling us out, okay? Saturn is going to go back over 29 degrees of Capricorn, which is a massive energy, because look, everything that's going on in the world, restructuring the world governments, all this political shit that's coming up about everybody's, it seems like someone comes out with a truth, then someone else comes out to counter that truth, then someone comes out to counter that truth, and it's back and forth and up and down and left and right, and who knows who the fuck is telling the truth anymore. All right. It's like truth has become subjective because everybody's belief system is subjective. We all process this information energy through the own prism of our own mind. Okay. So really at the core, I personally believe that every decision they're making are doing it because their version of this is for the highest and best good of either themselves or humanity. Now, other people can look at that and be like, you're fucking crazy, dude. Like, it's the big part is the whole vaccine thing, right? Now, like, they're trying to mandate vaccines, saying that we need no, like, look, whatever your belief system is, it's like some of it, you look at it and you're like, how in the fuck do you think that this is a positive thing? But maybe their idea is, well, we're destroying this earth. We have too many people, so we need to depopulate the world for the longevity of humanity. Personally, I believe there are much better options, okay? But I'm going to leave that at that. All right, you guys figure that out for yourself. And that's the great thing about these energies is that we are really going to become like everybody in the world right now, because everybody's being affected. Everybody is coming into their own truths. And this is going to make us have to stand in our power and stand in what we believe in at a much deeper level. Okay. So be prepared for this next, definitely for this next month and a half, 2 months. The energies are going to get very, very heightened, but internally, because when a planet goes retrograde, that means that we're bringing these energies that have been brought out. Okay, like when it's going forward, we're moving forward in our evolution of life. When it goes retrograde, we're covering things that maybe we missed, or we have to look at things that are maybe incomplete energetically and going over it again so that we have the opportunity to fully embody this new energy into our consciousness so that we can grow into the next evolution of our lives. And we are also in Venus shadow. Okay. Now Venus only goes retrograde every year and a half, 2 years. And this is also going to bring up our relationship with relationships and our relationship with money. And in Gemini, this is cerebral. This is like opinions, debates, back and forth, thinking, this could be like, court stuff. This could be legal matters regarding money. This is like and with Saturn going retrograde too in Aquarius, this is a lot about this whole, stimulus in money and like the way that they're, addressing these issues that are going on in the world. It's going to probably get more messy before they figure out a solid plan. All right. Sort of like they're beta testing it, basically. And no matter what, there are going to be people that are going to be pissed off. All right. That's just how it goes. That's how it always is. And we got to be okay with that. All right. So we are also in the last week of the nodes being in Capricorn and Cancer. So this is like that energy going through the eye of the needle. Okay. Coming into this next phase. So we are coming into a lot of shifting energy here. and we have to be ready to expect the unexpected. It's sort of like, we're already in the fucking Twilight Zone, right? And it's bringing us these weird places, like sort of like the Twilight Zone and Harry Potter met and had babies. And now it's like we're going into this, and then we're Harry Potter, and we just discovered that we're like the most powerful wizard in existence. We're like, oh fuck, because also we have Neptune and Pisces now in the third decan in 20 degrees. So with Neptune now at 20 degrees, this is at the beginning of a new mastery level of our energy. And with mastery comes responsibility. Like, look at Harry Potter. He had to go through like the most difficult tests. He learned the most stuff, but somehow he gets pushed to his limits, and somehow he makes it through. And that's really where, like, we just have to say yes to ourselves and go into it. And we learn along the way. And usually it teaches us through us just stumbling through it. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. And this is where it sort of forces us to get out of our head and into our heart. But with the nodes going into Gemini and Sagittarius, especially with the South Node going pretty much right into the galactic center. Oh boy. Collectively, this is releasing more, letting go more of all this karmic shit. But as it comes up and out, of course, collectively, this is going to make things even weirder and more strange. It's like this energy is just going to go out there and blast out. We're going to see a lot more spiritual leaders coming into play, but we're going to have to be careful, because when anything grows, we have like the false prophets or, teachers that are bullshitting. Okay. So we have to be careful about that, about who and what we're listening to. First and foremost, all these energies, of course, suggest that if we really want to be following our highest and best path, then we have to listen to our heart with every single decision that we make. Now, sometimes we make a decision and we have to learn a hard lesson or learn, something that's like, okay, I was curious about that. Definitely not my thing. I know that now. So now I have to have the courage to face that dead on in an not unemotional, in a practical and authentic way. Like, look, this is nothing against you. There's nothing against me. But this is what I came to the conclusion within myself. And I cannot like say you meet someone, like it's a potential relationship or like a business relationship, and you guys start hanging out, or like you see their true colors, and you're just like, I'm good. But that person, is like, all up on like, okay, come on, let's do this. And you've already kind of agreed to it. You gotta be like, oh, fuck. All right. And you can't just avoid it. If you try to avoid things right now that like you're in the middle of dealing with, it's going to just be coming at you and coming at you and coming at you. And it's not going to let you blow it off. And you have to fucking embrace that feeling that, well, I don't like conflict, but it's only conflict if you make it conflict. And sometimes you just really need to look within yourself at a deeper level and be like, okay, well, why? Why am I feeling this conflict within myself? Just recentering yourself, and this, with everything going on, that it's going to be a difficult process, okay? So just, remind yourself, come back, watch this video, and be like, okay, I need to reset. That's why I'm going out to recenter myself, tomorrow, so that I can make sure that it's, because I'll tell you what, like I'm doing readings and doing my reports, and I'm looking at the astrology these last couple of days, and I'm just like, I go to speak, and it's like, just my words have not been formulating, and then I'll just lose my train of thought in the middle of it and realize okay, when I get to that point, I got to take a step back. I'm no good to anybody. My channeling it gets overwhelmed. So I need to be able to take a step back and just clear my energy and clear my thoughts so that I could be a clear channel for you guys and for myself too. So I've noticed a pattern of being able to feel the energy from these retrogrades, almost like a pressure or as if I'm being squeezed. Is that possible, or am I just crazy? Well, you're definitely not crazy. And that feeling is actually, I've been feeling a lot of that too, right? And Elijah, yes, everything does have a contract for sure. But with these energies and getting highly sensitized to to these deeper aspects of our own consciousness, it's bringing out these new levels of sensitivities in this new level of this new depth or sensitivity of feeling the energies, and everybody's going to feel a little bit different. Sometimes you get headaches because it's like cracking open your crown chakra. You may feel it in certain parts of your body. Usually I feel like a vibrating in my hands, because I've worked a lot with my hands. I can feel energy very deeply through my hands, and I can feel it like I can feel it right now. It's like pulsating, right? Like whoa, 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 whoa. And so, sometimes I got to take a step back. I've been feeling weird pains in my forearms, okay? Even though I haven't even really been doing much physically lately, it's been mostly just talking to people and coaching and, working my businesses. It's very interesting how these things come about. Can the process of ascension and downloads go hand in hand? Well, they are the same thing. The ascension downloads are like a symptom of ascension, right? So, and there's a lot of downloading, and Pluto is the deepest of downloads, and we may not even realize it as it's coming in because it's unconscious. But then so basically the way the energy comes through, right? It comes so when we get a download, it comes in through the crown chakra, it goes down to the third eye. So it's almost like absorbed through the energetic centers. If you think of your chakras, right? And when they open up and when they're ready to bring in more energy, comes into the crown, goes down to the root. Okay. Now for that's like we get an idea, we get an epiphany, we get a vision in our mind, we feel something in our heart or our gut, right? But now to bring it into being, it comes back up from the root. And this is actually opening up to sort of embody it or blend with the energies of us as our vibration raises. And it comes up almost like a Kundalini rising. And it embodies it, and then it has to come out through the crown chakra again. And that's when we become that new download or energy. And that can take hours, it can take days, it can take months, it can take years. It all depends, right? So this is where just being centered and allowing this energy to move through us and not trying to control it. A big Caroline Myss talks a lot about how these downloads function and work. Like they can get stuck. If we have a blockage in our gut, right, in our sacral chakra, our sexual energy is all over the place, or our idea of feeling, about finances, or we have limiting beliefs that are stuck somewhere in our body. All right, this stuff will get stuck, and then we deal with issues there. Like if you have gut issues, that's usually like a sacral or a solar plexus or a root issue. And a lot of people, especially this day and age, we have a lot of blockages down there because our hearts are closed. And we have to open up our heart chakra to be able to receive all the greatest gifts in our world. And usually when our heart cracks open, that can feel a lot like heartbreak or heartache or, whatever symptom. Like it's still the cracking open of that energy. And when it cracks open, it's just like what's going on in the world right now. It's the Ghostbusters. That little Pandora's box opens up. And now we have to deal with all these suppressed energies because energy cannot be created or destroyed, right? It just changes. So we have to take this energy and transmute it. And we have to transmute it through the feeling of it through our five senses. That's how processing and releasing these emotions works. And it gets stuck in our central nervous system, in our organs, in our tissue, in our minds. Okay, so this will make you dig deep into yourself. And I've seen some fascinating and experienced some fascinating things regarding, releasing and growing and, processing. So, do it up. Butterflies in the stomach. Becky, your mouth, huh? I've been feeling lately that I have messages and words to say to assist others healing and love. Well, and that's, if you feel like you're getting all these downloads and then you're feeling these blockages or these, getting sore or issues, this is telling you that there's a blockage. And the way to release the blockage of allowing these things through, this is about settling in and centering yourself and not trying to do anything. If you try to do something to release it, you will block it. That is a control mechanism. That is contraction. That's why meditation, yoga, breathing techniques, that's why those are so effective, because they allow the body to open up, to let it through. You do not control this. It is working through itself, through the divine, through your higher self, through the divine aspect of who you are. So clear your mind, relax it, and then when it's ready to come out in divine timing, it'll come out. Okay. Butterflies in the stomach usually means that you're walking, like a lot of people say, like you if you see someone and you lock eyes and you're really interested, you know, like they're really hot, you get butterflies in the stomach. That is not necessarily the case. That usually means that, oh, there's another karmic lesson that you're going to be learning. All right. That's nerves. That's contraction. If you see someone that you're meant to be with, you're on the same line, you'll look at them and you'll be like, holy fuck, they're so gorgeous. But you'll be like, hey, how you doing? And whatever quirkiness or whoever you are, naturally, that'll naturally come out. And you'll be like, wow, that was effortless. And then all of a sudden time seems to just fly by, like, holy fuck, where the hell did the time go? I don't know what's going on, right? So that's how you know if it's so if you get butterflies, not necessarily a sign that you're meant to be with them. It's usually a sign that you're going to learn some lessons. Okay. Becky, it's embarrassing to speak. Well, that's a limiting belief, and that's something that you need to face within yourself. You need to, why are you embarrassed? Okay. That's usually a self-worth, self-confidence issue. So, you know, what happened when you were younger that shut your communication with yourself down and that communication with the world? If you really want to look into that and grow and, and flow into the understanding and processing of that energy. In fact, anybody that's experiencing blockages and having a difficult time working through some things right now, go to my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com, and check out my opportunity community. Still a few slots left for the 4-week transformational protocol is still free for a few people. And jump on that and join the rest of the crew that is going through and learning and growing in massive, massive ways, networking with amazing people all over the world right now. I have people in, Australia, the UK, Croatia, Germany, the United States, Canada. It's amazing. All right. So now we also, this week, we have Mars now at the 3rd decan of Aquarius. So this Aquarian energy is slowly but surely from these different archetypes coming in and playing a role. And of course, I was saying about Neptune. Neptune is also at the 3rd decan. Now, Mars moving much faster, but Mars in the 3rd decan of Aquarius, this is that Aquarian mastery energy. So this is like that rebellion, like, we need to do something. We need to stand up. We need to take charge of our lives. This is that humanitarian in us all. That's and with Mars is all about like the warrior. Let's take action. Let's make it happen. Let's get groups of people. Like, we want change. We want to take care of it. What do I need to do? Who do I need to connect with? All right, to grow and learn. And it is semi-sextile to Neptune and Pisces. So this is really like taking that super telekinetic, super spiritual, super like could possibly be delusional if you're like really like too far, too deep into it. So you have to be careful about that. All right, like listening, like this disinformation, listening to shit that it just is doing more damage than good. Like, any information can be damaging if you interpret it or take it too far the wrong way. Anything out of balance. So that's just one thing you need to be careful of. But this is also making these deeper energetic aspects of ourselves more palpable, more alive inside our minds, right? So we're going to see a lot of people here in the next 6 months discovering some deeper spiritual gifts. Okay, either if you look at your natal chart, you'll be able to see it. If you have any planets in your 12th house, that's usually like hearing spirits, seeing spirits, or like being able to connect with, like people on the other side, or just being able to see or, feel things that are going to happen in the future, all those kind of things. In the 8th house, any planets in the 8th house, that's more like you're going to be feeling and seeing like things through empathy, right? You're going to be feeling the emotion of it, and you may like feel it like in the physical body. This is also like the home of like sexual energy. So you start doing like stepping more into your sexuality in a divine way, like exploring tantra or like Kundalini yoga and things like that. Okay. So, look into that, or pay attention to those energies in you and see like what exactly might be coming out, and embrace it. Okay. At first, these things coming out, it's almost like when if you play a video game, like say Mario, right? He eats the mushroom, how ironic, and then he grows and gets tall. Well, now you're a different height. Now you have a stronger punch. Now you're able to, punch those things and get the little flower or the coins, right? So it comes out, and you're like, that was the sound that Mario makes when he grows, and now you're this different height. You can do so much more. Then you get the fireball, and you're like, pow, 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 right? So, but I'm sure, like, you have to be aware that you're growing and that you have to understand what your power is. So you have to go within and look and see where all these things are moving so that you can shift your consciousness. Like, okay, I'm not small anymore. If you're big and powerful and you're still playing small, well, that's a problem. Okay, so this requires us to stand in that new level of power and recognize and understand where we're at, and that will require probably new groups of people to talk to, new relationships with people, because when we grow, we no longer vibrate with that lower frequency, with that lower vibration, and when that comes around, the draining will be more intense. And in this next 6 months, all of that energetic interaction is going to be way more powerful. Okay, especially right now, we're feeling like a big blast of it right now. But with this, we are going to have the opportunity. Now we have to listen to the feeling. That's the caveat here. Okay. And when we listen to the feeling, we'll know, okay, I'm around these people. I need to get away from these people. I want to be around these people. I feel like alive and I feel great, but this requires us to get out of our comfort zone, to meet new people, to take new risks, to take new chances, so that we can even understand what we feel. But we have to be willing to feel these new things. Does it make sense? All right. And with quarantine, I know that can be, I know that can be difficult sometimes, but that's where the Aquarian energy comes in, getting inventive, unexpected ways showing up, right? It's sort of like, when Neo was in the Matrix and, he got that message on his computer, follow the white rabbit. The fuck, he could have been, that could have been delusional. He might not have even seen it, but he sees the red rabbit, the white rabbit tattoo on the girl's back, and he's like, oh, fuck. And he felt it. That was an intuitive hit. Okay, well, I got to go. I got to see what the fuck this is all about, because I have this deep burning desire or passion to know and understand what the fuck is going on. All right. So, and we also have Chiron here now at 7 degrees. So, Chiron moving at when the outer planets move a degree, that is significant, because it takes a long time for them to move in these degrees. And each one is sort of bringing uptick and that archetype of that energy. So Chiron is that deep wound in our, and being in Aries is basically in our ego, or the way we bring ourselves out into the world. Okay. So this is, and this is the first time since Chiron's been discovered. Chiron was discovered in 1977. So, and it was already towards the end of Aries. So with it being in the beginning of Aries, none of us have been aware of Chiron, since it was there. So we're all tapping into this deeper vulnerability and a deeper wound within us, and it is semi-sextile to Uranus, and it's basically going to stay semi-sextile for quite a while, because it goes Saturn, then Chiron, then Uranus. They're right near each other. Okay. And of course the sun just crossed over Uranus. So, digging into these deeper energies, it's massive, guys. This is so deep and so intense, and it's forcing us to be real with ourselves. All right. What's up, Leslie? Yeah, I changed the time. I sincerely apologize. But I had to do this today instead of tomorrow, because like I was saying earlier, I'm going on a little spiritual retreat. I'm going to be out in nature for up to 2 days with my spiritual mentor, and we're going to do some deep dives, some deep work. And I'm really, really excited to go get grounded again and to go work with my ancestors to really strengthen and clear myself so that I can continue to do this work, every 3 months or so. Because I tend to work, because I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of things that I want to make happen and I want to do and I want to create. So every 3 months or so, I take a step back for a few days and I go out in nature and I clear myself and I ground myself and I fast and I I just reset my body and my mind so that I can come back with this power and this energy that's continually evolving. Because let's face it, we're in a massive evolution of our energies right now. Okay. So I appreciate it. I don't really see it as a break though. It definitely is shifting from focusing on this for a couple days. Well, I cannot confirm or deny if there will be use of anything, but let's just say that diving pretty deep. Okay, definitely going to be diving deep. So yeah, like doing the work never stops, but sometimes the work is to really fully bring it back, into alignment, to empower the heart to its fullest potential again. And, that keeps everything clear and potent and strong. And yeah, bringing all the stuff to you guys all the time so that we can keep evolving and making it happen. But all these energies are shifting and moving into a whole new level, a whole new depth. So just when you think it can't get any more intense, it's going to keep getting more intense. And if you've been paying attention to the Schumann's resonance, the Schumann's resonance is spiking higher and higher. It's over 100. I think it's like 118 hertz and higher lately, which is, our bodies usually oscillate at about 7.83 hertz, somewhere around there. So that is way higher than what our body oscillates at. So this is our mind, our consciousness. This is the 5D, guys. This is what it's all about. But to go to the 5D collectively, we have to clear all this shit. We have to clear all these energies. And that is what we're doing right now. All right. Yes, definitely perfect time to go within right now. So we have Pluto in retrograde now. We have the nodes going to be shifting next week. So this week is, a lot of people are going to be exhausted this week. Okay. Because this is where finally all this like last minute, this energy is just getting solidified. And it's like, we made the cake, we put the icing on it. Now we have to let it just sit so that it's ready. All right. Elijah just asked, can you explain your daily routine? Do you stay away from technology and ground till later in the day, or what's up? Well, normally, what I do is I wake up sort of when I want to, no later than 10 a.m., but usually somewhere between 8 and 10 a.m. All right. And I take my time getting up. I throw on some binaural beats, or I start listening to some astrology stuff on YouTube. I make my breakfast. I usually stretch or, just take 10, 15 minutes and just breathe, clear my energy, or I'll do some rapé and get myself ready for the day. And then I look at the tasks that I have to get done that day. And then I sort of feel it out and go with it. A lot of what I do is honestly like intuitive. Like I'll work until I feel like I can't work anymore, and then I'll switch it up. Like usually I'll try to like go for a run, or I have like a little exercise spot set up in my house, and I'll do that. But I listen to my body and I go until I can't go anymore, and then I go to sleep. And throughout that time, I eat my meals and I do my work, and like structure for me has been so intensely changing that actually like waking up at a specific time, like I have to get the foundation of my new business more structured before that I'm able to do that, because my creative energy, I'm learning how to use it at a deeper level more efficiently. So I know that doesn't really explain it a whole lot, but I do teach how to create this structure in my 4-week transformational course. And as I'm guiding people through that, I'm learning how to restructure myself so that when it's time to bring that to the next level, that's usually how I like when I didn't have this sort of intuitive guidance to change things around. That's how I've done it. And building that next layer of the coaching protocol is sort of what I'm discovering within myself right now. So just like everyone else, that for me, there's a very transformational time. All right. So I just joined with Rolling Stones on my iHome. So confused. But but I was going to the beat. That's awesome. Yes, I agree. Macro dosing is a great way to counteract the trauma that we all experience. I believe that that mushrooms will be legal at least in Las Vegas by the end of this year, and probably by the end of next year in the entire United States. There's so much clinical data now that shows how efficient and effective it is. Elijah, yes, the opportunity community. It's $4.99 a month. It's $4.99 a month for the opportunity community, but the transformational coaching protocol is free. I have just a handful of spots left, and then that is going to go up to $47. Still fairly inexpensive, but the first 100 people are getting in there free. And then we also have a Facebook, a closed Facebook group that we're all communicating in as well to network with. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, please let me know. All right. So we also have, of course, Venus now coming up to the spot where it's going to retrograde. It's going to be retrograding early next month. So with the node shifting in, like the North Node is going to be going into Gemini, and we have Venus in Gemini, and they're going to actually, no, I don't think they're going to cross paths. They're going to get pretty close though. All right. But, with that, we're going to have a lot of energy shifting in to our more cerebral processing of the mind. And we're going to have to be really, Venus retrograde is a unique energy, and I'm going to go into that in my Venus retrograde video. So you'll be able to check that out soon by the end of the week on YouTube, and I'll be posting that on my Instagram as well. But that energy can get very delusional. We can all of a sudden just like decide, holy fuck, this is the perfect time to buy a house or buy a new car or refinance or do something really big and crazy with your money. Or all of a sudden you could just want to get a bunch of tattoos, or you meet someone that you just fall madly in love with and you're like, holy fuck, this is the person of my dreams. Wait, watch the impulsive, because basically when Venus goes retrograde, that's like everything just flips upside down when it comes to money and love. Okay. So that may attract things to us that are tempting us or that are giving us something to learn about or reflect on that may not be longevity or, have longevity in it. But this is also a highly likely time where people from the past, whether friends, relationships, business partners, and opportunities may come back. And this could be, we don't know exactly what the reason will be, but the main purpose right here is to take it one step at a time, nice and slow, and, just feel through it. Do not give in to the impulses entirely, and do not go make some big ass life-changing decision with relationships or money during this time. If it's going to be long-term, it's going to be there when Venus goes direct. Okay. But with the North Node there, it could feel like destiny is playing a major, major role in this process. So just watch that. And we also, right now, we have Mercury and Lilith conjunct in Taurus. And this is still very close to Uranus. Okay. Whenever things are close to Uranus, that can also be like a little bit of delusion, a little bit of impulsive, I didn't expect to feel this. I didn't expect to see that. I didn't expect to get this opportunity. It can be good or bad. All right. Depending on how we see it. But what does Taurus represent? Taurus represents agriculture. It represents the earth, Pachamama. It represents the physical body, the senses, the sensations. Taurus likes nice things. It likes luxury. It likes beauty. It likes to feel good. It likes to feel sexy. Okay, so with Lilith conjunct Mercury here, this is where we may get more vocal about what we want, and we have to make sure that we do it in a healthy way. Okay, this could also be like going from doing an OnlyFans page to considering porn. Like, do you really want to go that far? Because once you do that, there's no coming back from that. Okay, just throwing it out there. Not saying it's good or bad. Just just make sure that you're thinking long term and you're thinking permanence here. Are my weekly lives now on Mondays? No, they are not. Like I was saying earlier, I'm doing it today. I'm doing it today for this week because I'm going on a spiritual quest for the next 2 days, and doing a little bit of a social media detox, if you will. So this week is going to be Monday, but next week it'll continue on schedule on Tuesdays. Okay. So let's see here. We have and today, okay, I'm sorry. So the 28th. So we're starting this tomorrow. Tomorrow, and well, really today, the moon is going through Cancer, and this is the last time that the moon will go through go over the North Node in Cancer. So this is like the last check. What's up, David? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. This is the last time the moon will go over the North Node in Cancer. So this is like, all right, all your ducks in a row. Time to get on the bus. Let's go. All right. So it's almost like a relieving, but oh shit. Like, okay, now I sort of feel like I'm going in this next place. What's coming next? How do I work with it? How do I deal with it? So just be patient with yourself on that. We have let's see. The big thing here is that Pluto energy is just sitting still. It's like fermenting. So it's bringing up or bringing more close to the surface all this stuff that has been brought up, and now we got to feel it all in like detail and face it. Thank you, Jeannie. I appreciate that very, very much. So now up to let's see. On May 1st, we have let's see. Now Mercury Mercury will be crossing over Uranus this week. So just like the sun, the sun could have brought some really strange things, or strange awarenesses, or strange understandings, or unexpected things. Like all of a sudden we're like, attract this business idea, or attract this person, or this thing, or this belief that we didn't really know. It could be hanging out with family and just all of a sudden feel this new sense of gratitude and, understanding. Or it can be like, you can be really confused. Like, wow, I'm really not feeling like I want to be with my partner anymore. Why? Like everything is fine. Everything is great, but really everything is not fine and great. And that's why you're feeling it. Okay, so you're going to be honest with yourself. And with Mercury coming over, this is going to highlight the stuff that you felt from the sun being conjunct Uranus. Be like, okay, now we're going to be communicating clear and understanding at a deeper level why we're feeling this and what the fuck is going on. Because there's a lot of really weird shit going on. Okay, so on May 1st, we have the sun now at 11 degrees, which is the second decan of Taurus. So this is bringing in, all this stuff going on, and it's when we were in Aries season, and now it's grounding it, and now it's like, okay, now we need to structure and strategize and make a plan and grow and learn and feel it and face it and chuck it in the fuck it bucket. All right, hey you, what's going on, Lady B? So the moon on the 1st will be quincunx over to Pluto and Jupiter, and the moon will be in Leo, but also trine to the South Node. So, the 1st is going to be I'm feeling like it's going to be a pretty emotionally intense day. And then Mars is also going to be at 22 degrees, and Aquarius is going to be opposed to the moon. So, hey, what's up, Black Moon Lilith Astrology? I am fascinated by Black Moon Lilith. So I love that name alone, and I love the work that you're doing. I'm curious, do you do any work with White Moon Selena? Because I've been pretty fascinated after all the info I learned from the Peace Dealer about Black Moon Lilith. I got really curious about White Moon, so I've done a lot of research on that. What does the moon in Leo mean for Leo? Well, if your sun is in Leo, that means that the moon is just transiting over the sun. The moon's transits don't mean a whole lot, like in reference to a birth chart per se. It's going to be more like if it's actually what's going on in the transits. Okay, so it's highly dependent, Nicole, on where the transits are in your birth chart in relationship to all this. But really, it's just you're emotionally more connected to your spirit when it's conjunct, and so it'll enhance the emotional sensation or clarity or feeling of all the energies that you're experiencing right now. Okay. But again, it's not going to be super intense because the moon just moves so quickly. All right. It's been a super heavy couple days for me too, right? And sort of for everyone, because this Pluto energy makes it heavy. It makes it now it can be heavy or it can be elating too. So it all depends on what we're working with. Your birthday is tomorrow, and I was wondering if it means anything. Well, yeah, happy birthday. That's huge. That means that's the day that's going to imprint your solar return, and we can definitely, if you want to talk more about that, we can. I can go into your solar return for you, but we'll do that separate. But you're definitely birthday. This next solar return for you is going to be pretty intense. Okay, because we're experiencing intense energies all around right now, but that's. So this solar return for really everyone to a certain extent is going to be intense. Mine was January 1st. So it was right in between the eclipses. So for me, it's been incredibly transformative, but in a very positive way. All right. So yeah, there we go. So let's see, May 2nd. Sorry, I just lost connection in my Instagram. So what's up, guys? But I'm still holding strong here on YouTube. So feel free to jump over there too. For some reason, my internet connection didn't seem to be solid. All right, so the moon is going to be on May 2nd is going to be trining over to everything in Taurus, and now Black Moon Lilith is also retrograde. Black Moon Lilith seems to go retrograde a lot. Back and forth. So it's going to be hanging out right at the very beginning of Taurus, the end of Aries. I feel very strongly that Black Moon Lilith plays a very subtle yet distinct role in everything that's going on in the world right now. And now that it's in Taurus, this Taurian energy is getting a lot stronger. Okay, so with this in Taurus now, this is all about wanting to feel sexy, wanting to feel good, wanting to be touched, wanting to be caressed, coddled, like wanting to feel nice, right? So whatever situation you're in and however you're going and whatever you're doing, enjoy it. Allow yourself to enjoy it. A lot of people, tend to restrict themselves in order to stay disciplined. And I think that to a certain extent that's valid, but we have to be careful not to allow the restriction to, create resistance within us. Okay. So May 3rd. Now, May 3rd is going to be emotionally intense day too, because we have the moon in Virgo. It's going to be opposed to Neptune. And it's square over to the nodes. It's also square over to Venus. It's going to be sesquiquadrate over it. It's really connected to everything else in the chart through this sign, and a lot of it is tense. Okay, you just want to feel good. I feel you. I want to feel good too, but at the very core, to feel at our very best. There's two ways we can feel good. We can do it the instant gratification way, right? Like say, let's bring it up. Let's talk about sex, right? Now, instant gratification, like I want to feel good. I'm going to masturbate. Hey, cool. We all need to fucking do that from time to time. Have that release. But if you want to really go above and beyond, like if you have a partner or you want to find a partner, then you need to go out and do the work, for the long term, so that you don't really have to worry about masturbating all the time. You can have someone else do it for you, right? But now here's the catch with this Black Moon Lilith energy. Don't just go, find a fuck friend that you're going to sacrifice your morals and your integrity with, or don't just hire a hooker or something. Make sure that you stick to your boundaries and you have patience with yourself. So maybe you might need to just masturbate for a while until you actually find the right one, but you got to take action on doing that, right? So follow someone else. Exactly, right? Why do it yourself? You might have to train them a little bit. do this, change that, and that's a good way to, practice your communication skills. And, like, you don't want to make them feel like, wow, you really suck. You need to work on this. We're going to have to take a class. Okay. No, it's like, okay, now let's, just show them lovingly, like, oh, this is how you do this. Try this, or, oh, that feels great, but let's do this, communication. All right. Kurt, Mr. Power, what's up, brother? We're talking about masturbation. Yes, we are. All right. So May 4th, we're going to have the moon going into Libra. Now it's going to oppose Chiron. All right. So, it's fuck yeah, brother. So now with the moon in Libra, it's going to be opposed to Chiron, and it's going to be sesquiquadrate over to Mars. It's going to be quincunx over to Uranus. So that's going to be a pretty, that's going to be like, we're going to be having a lot of unexpected emotional situations coming in, right? And with this emotional intensity, it's going to throw us. Hey, Kurt, man, thank you, brother. Things are actually going really well. I hope things are going well for you too back there in Massachusetts, my man. Definitely take care of yourself. I miss you, brother, and I love you. My man Kurt's on here. Him and I deployed to Cuba. We were in the military together for years. This dude's a bad motherfucker. So bravest dude I fucking know, man. I love you, brother. Gina, every ex from all over is coming back. Well, what is that trying to teach you? What is it? What is that trying to show you? Look into that. Okay. Good chance with all these energies right now. Thank you, buddy. With all these energies right now and how fucking intense they are. Okay. If you have exes or shit coming back from the past, it's going to bring up some kind of really intense feelings about it. Now, good, bad, or indifferent, these are feelings that we need to look at and feel and process. Okay. And when we process it, say that we want to find our true love, right? But for some reason, it just ain't fucking happening. Well, it's probably because we have some kind of resistance, some kind of self-development stuff that we have to develop in our heart, open our heart up more, and just accept and be okay with ourselves so that we can bring in the optimal partner for us. And that's where the work is right now. So you meet someone and it just flows and it seems easy, it seems amazing, and you're like turned on all the time, and you're just like, wow, you're the fucking best thing ever. That's when you should say yes, okay? And if it feels, or maybe like you might find that you're attracted to something new and different that you've never been attracted before. And that's where being totally honest with yourself, like not labeling things, not judging things, just being in it presently and fucking feeling it. All right. So that is, and also on May 4th, Lilith will be going back into 29 degrees of Aries. And of course, whatever any celestial body, or Lilith is technically a mathematical equation, but the energy I feel is still very significant. And at 29 degrees, whenever anything's at 29 degrees, it's heightened, super heightened. So we may have all this like grounding out of this like sexual energy and really making a decision. And then it comes back in 29 degrees Aries, and it's like, okay, fuck, now I want it now. I want it now. Like, all right, we'll go make it happen. Don't make any, bad decisions. And the decisions that we make right now with everything that we do are setting the foundation for the rest of our lives. Okay. So with every decision we need to be making, we need to be looking at, okay, and especially with all these changing times, I know it's not easy. Energy can be so fucking deep and intense right now. If you like not functioning and I'm sacrificing the quality of what I'm putting out there, it's like I got to force myself, like, all right, and then I have a hard time shutting my mind up for like a day, right? Yes, Jazz, sexual energy is definitely very high. And we have to make sure that we have a productive outlet for it, because what else can sexual energy turn into? It can turn into domestic abuse. It can turn into like, I don't know. Hold on, oh, excuse me. Yeah. It can turn us into seeking very unhealthy habits. But the positive, exactly, the positive aspect of the sexual energy is creative energy. And I know my creative energy has just been blasting through me so much. And, when it's that powerful, we have to make sure. Thank you. Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate it. when that energy is coming through us, we have to learn how to channel it properly. It's sort of like, like when Cyclops and the X-Men first, got activated, through that emotional activation, right? He's just looking around. As these lasers shooting out of his eyes everywhere. He needed to go to Professor X so that they could create those glasses. He had to learn how to channel the energy, right? There you go. Hiking definitely helps too. It's a good thing we can still go hiking around here. All right. So that's basically what I have for you guys for this week's energy report. I hope that it helped and gave you some clarity and gave you some strength in your decision-making process. Please go to my website, www.spiritualbodybuilder.com, and sign up for my opportunity community and join my 4-week transformational protocol. It's amazing, and we're killing it. We meet up every week, and we're doing some really great deep work. You realize that Black Moon Lilith is in the same place as when you were born. It's all about trying to balance shadow and sex with my light and love. That's beautiful, and you're absolutely right. That is definitely very important to balance that out. Because hey, look, we all have fetishes. We all have things that we like and enjoy and desire. Acknowledge it and acknowledge whether it's coming from when it's coming from a positive place, like I love myself and I want to feel good, or if it's coming from like I hate myself and I need to be punished or something like that, right? Like so that's always coming from in here. All right, but also, I'll be back on here in 15 minutes on Instagram, not on YouTube. Sorry, guys. But so if you want, join me on Instagram here in 15 minutes when I join with my dear friend and wealth coach, Julie Murphy, as we jump into more about the economic and wealth and health aspects of the energies. And you guys can ask questions, and we're happy to go into depth about whatever it is that you guys want to know about, right? So thank you guys very much for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon, and have a great week. Love y'all.